Hi everyone, this is Jackie Jones, founder and CEO of Way We Do. Today I'm going to show you how to connect Way We Do with Microsoft Forms, but in particular, when a Microsoft form is completed, it automatically ticks a step off within a Way We Do activated checklist. And the way we're going to do that is by using Microsoft Flow. So Microsoft Flow, if you don't know what that is, it is a connector and it enables multiple web applications to talk to each other so that you can automate processes. So the one we're going to work on today is this particular training guide. It's a Sanitation and Hygiene Training guide. And within each of the steps, we have videos and images and text for the employee to read. And then at the very end, we have a quiz. And we've created this quiz using Microsoft Forms, and we've simply embedded that directly into the instruction panel here. So we're going to use Microsoft Flow to connect the two together. So let's jump across to Microsoft Flow. And Microsoft Flow is available within your Office 365 subscription if you have one. If you don't, that's still okay. Simply go to flow.microsoft.com and you'll be able to sign up to a trial account. Okay, so we're going to start with adding a connector. And the first connector I want to add is the Microsoft form. So simply I'm going to search for that web application here. So I'll click Microsoft Forms, and Microsoft Forms has one trigger and one action available. So I want to start with a trigger, and that is when the hygiene quiz is completed, then is going to start running this process. So I'm going to select the quiz. Okay, so now I'm going to add a new step, and I'm going to use a function called apply to each. And essentially what it does is pulls out all the data from a previous step and then uses it in the upcoming steps. So let's do a search for apply to each. And we're going to select this dynamic content, list of response notifications. From there, we'll add another action, and we're going to do a search or find an action, which is get response details, which is from the Microsoft Forms connector. So here it is right here. So it now asks us for the form ID and the response ID. So again, the unique identifier of the form is the name of the quiz. So it's a hygiene quiz. And the response ID is simply available from the dynamic content, and you choose this option on the right-hand side. So the next action is to find the checklist step, which is, or the checklist instance from Way We Do. So I'm going to search for this action called find checklist instance. And it's going to bring up a range of actions from Way We Do. And we'll select that item. And now ask us the name of the procedure ID. So let's click the drop down, and it's available right here. And then the instance title, we're going to use dynamic content again. And what I want to do in order to match the instance title with the form that has been completed is using a common piece of data. And so I want to use the option enter your name. And so the name that's available or is one of the fields within the form, we'll also use that within the activated checklist instance title. So the next item is add an action. And we're going to use another apply to each. And so let's do a search for that. So again, it's taking all the previous information and then using it in the following steps. So it then asks select an output from previous steps. So I want to use the find checklist instance body. And what that means is very similar to Microsoft Forms list of response notifications. So in a sense, it's all the data points available from this particular information. We're going to add another action, which is finding the user name. So we'll do a search for the action find user. and we're going to select the email address or the name of that user, and it will be dynamic. So we don't want to hard code it to a particular name or an email address. So instead, we're going to use the instance user. So it will dynamically insert the name of that user. Then we'll add another action, which is find checklist step. It is now asking us for the instance ID. For some reason on this particular one, the scroll bar doesn't appear. So I just try to select at the bottom there, and we can do a search under, or if you click See More under Find Checklist Instance, and it'll bring up all the items for that particular item. So we want to choose Instance ID. The next step is adding the name of the step title. So if we go back to our form, where our activated checklist, at the bottom here, the name of the step, this is the step that we want to have ticked off automatically, is complete the quiz. So I'll just copy that text there. We'll go back to Microsoft Flow and we'll enter that in. Okay, so the next step is to, again, use another apply to each function. And we're going to select an output from previous step. So again, is the body. And we're going to use from the checklist step option there. Click Add an Action. And the action is complete a checklist step. And we have some data to complete here. So first of all, it's asking us for the instance ID. Actually, it's from the checklist instance option. So it's the instance ID. Now we want the step ID. So again, using dynamic content. So it's from the checklist step option and choose step ID. And then we want to add the user ID. So again, instead of entering a hard-coded email address, we're going to select our dynamic content. And so this is from the find user action, and we're going to use the user ID parameter there. Okay, so we've now completed our flow. So I'm going to add a title, and let's call it When a Microsoft Form Quiz is Completed, tick step off as complete in Way We Do. And we'll click Save. With any process, you need to test it before you release it to the world. So we're going to use the test function in Microsoft Flow, and I'm going to choose the option I'll perform the trigger action and click Save and Test. So Microsoft Flow is now waiting for me to complete that form. So I'm going to go back to our activated checklist, and I'm going to run an instance of this. So let's click Run Checklist, and we'll give it a name. So let's say the employee, their name is Jerry Smith. We'll click Confirm. And so that user will then go through each of these items to learn about hygiene and sanitation. They can also add comments if they wish to, so any learning notes or any questions that they may have. And of course, when you tick these items off as being complete, we're collecting data around the name of the person completing that, as well as a time and date stamp. I am actually logged in as Bob Smith, so that's why Bob Smith appeared there. And then they simply go through each of the steps and then tick it off. But when they get to this last item, complete the quiz, I'm going to complete this quiz right now. We want the name to match the name of the checklist instance. So let's add in Jerry Smith. And we'll select our answers. Hopefully I'll get them right. Click Submit. Okay, so this form has now been submitted. So if I'll click close here for now, and we can see here that this step or this checklist instance isn't fully complete. So let's go back to Microsoft Flow, and it's actually said that the flow ran successfully. And we can see that for every step of this flow, there's a little green tick, and it looks at the number of seconds that it's taken to complete that particular action. So let's go back to way we do. So this is so on the checklist tab, we've got the actual master checklist. And then on the activity tab, we have the instances that are running. So we can see here now for the Jerry Smith instance that it is now fully complete. So if I click on this item here, and I'll just jump down to complete the quiz. Yay, so it now says that Microsoft Flow completed this particular quiz. So of course you can use this function or this action from Way We Do within Microsoft Flow, complete a checklist instance step. You can use it for any type of app. So if you have actions happening in other web apps, that it can then send a message to Way We Do to tick an item off or a step off in that process. So you don't need to have a human or a person to come in and tick these items off manually. And it's a great way to manage your processes holistically across all the different web apps that you are using. Great. So if you have any questions about Way We Do, simply reach out to our support team. You can email us at support@waywedo.com. If you don't have access to Way We Do, you can sign up to a trial. Simply go to our website, so www.waywedo.com, and then click on free trial there or from the homepage here. And again, with Microsoft Forms and Microsoft Flow, you can go to their respective websites and sign up as well. If you need any assistance with creating your Microsoft Flows, simply reach out to us. We're happy to give you some guidance there as well. And if you want this particular process to be added in your accounts, if you've signed up to Way We Do, let us know and we'll install this into your account. Have a great day, and we hope to speak with you soon.